Hey guys, today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to create an exercise plan. We're going to use a very simple formula for success. So our objectives today are, first, we have to understand that before you begin any kind of an exercise program, you need to assess your fitness level. It's very important to make sure that you're exercising at the right level. If you're working too hard, you can injure yourself. And if you're not working hard enough, you're not challenging your body to get stronger and fitter. We also have to determine the kind of exercises that you enjoy to do. If you want to keep going, you have to like what you're doing. And then we have to make sure that your plan is fit. And what is fit? We're going to figure that out in a few minutes. So regarding assessment, don't guess your level. Best thing to do if you don't know is contact a fitness professional. They can put you through a whole series of physical and biometric tests to find out whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced level exercise enthusiast. Or you can visit our assessments page for detailed instructions. I'm going to flip right to that screen now. So if we look at our website at FITT or What, there is a page called Assessments, and we can find your fit. And really, to find your fit, this is very, very simple. You can do a bunch of these type of physical activity tests where we're trying to see what your endurance and strength are. You have to warm up, obviously, before you do any kind of exercise, and specifically with assessments, because you're going to try and push yourself. So you want to warm up your muscles for at least 10 minutes, as well as your cardiovascular system. So on this page, if I'm scrolling down, you can see that there are a whole bunch of exercises you can do to test your fitness level. The first one, a basic push-up. I give you directions on how to do the push-up, and then these are normative data tables for males and females based on your age, and depending on the number of push-ups you were able to do in the time that you're allotted, you can estimate your level at beginner, intermediate, advanced, or even athlete. There's also a partial curl-up that you can do. There's a plank and a squat. So these basic exercises are testing your upper body strength, your lower body strength, and your core strength. And once you come up with what your assessments are, you want to look at the tables and see where you fall. Hopefully you were pretty much the same in all categories, but let's say you were intermediate in 2 categories and a beginner in 2 categories. It's suggested that you start at the beginner level and work your way up to intermediate. You can continue further down and look at specific guidelines that you should be doing for a beginner. So for instance, a beginner can work for about 2 days a week to start, maybe only 10 to 20 minutes per session, and keep the intensity very, very light. And then there's also assessments here for your health, determining your heart rate and your blood pressure and risk factors for developing disease. And there's a table here which kind of gives you the results, and you can compare whether your results are optimal or whether you're more at a risk for disease. So that's very simply, at a very simple level, just some of the things you can do to get a basic estimate of what your level of fitness is. Getting back to our presentation, if we were to really want to take this to the next level, as I said, contacting us or meeting with a fitness professional is going to be your best bet to make sure that you're properly assessed so that you're doing the exercise at the right level. So what is FITT? FITT is frequency, intensity, time, and type. And this is what we have to look at when we're trying to put together a plan for ourselves. We have to determine what is the frequency. What that means is how many days a week are we going to do this exercise? And the intensity, how hard am I going to work? How much time am I going to spend at each exercise session? And what type of exercise am I going to do? Most importantly, you want to make sure that you schedule your activity. So using the frequency, intensity, time, and type formula, if we take the 7 days of the week, let's say Sunday's our rest day. We always want to take time to rest and let the muscles heal and let the cardiovascular system relax. But maybe Monday we decide that the type of exercise we want to do is running. The intensity is 5 miles per hour, And we're going to do that for 30 minutes. And how many times a week are we doing that? Well, based on the schedule, we're doing it Monday, we're doing it Thursday and Saturday. So that's about 3 times. So that's our frequency. With regard to Tuesday, we're looking at upper body weight training. So maybe we're working with our own body weight or using free weights or machines, and we're working at about 75% of our maximum that we could possibly work at. And we're doing that for 45 minutes. And we're going to be doing exercises for the lower body on Wednesday. Same kind of formula. The type of exercises are going to be more for the lower body, but still at the same intensity and the same minutes. And you can see that we're doing weight training 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we have our type of exercise. We have the frequency that we're doing it at 3 days a week for aerobics and 3 days a week for weight training. We have our intensity level for both aerobic and weight training, and we have the amount of minutes that we're spending per session. So this is a very, very, very simple schedule, but incorporates all of the elements of the FITT formula. So FITT, if we're looking at FITT and we want to really understand, well, how do we know what the frequency should be, or the intensity, or the time, or the type? Really, they're all pretty simple, except for intensity. Frequency, you can determine basically, if we look at the guidelines that the American College of Sports Medicine puts out for the exercise industry, it states that we should do aerobic activity anywhere from 3 to 5 days per week, and weight training 2 to 4 days per week. Our time of exercise on average should be 20 to 60 minutes per session, and the type of exercise should be really something that's first of all, that you're going to enjoy, and you want to make sure that you are incorporating both aerobic and resistance training to get the best of both worlds. And if you can work with a buddy, that's great, because it'll make it more fun and you'll have someone you can be accountable to, kind of motivate each other to keep going. The hardest part of the formula is figuring out the intensity. And there are a lot of ways that we can figure out the intensity for different types of exercises. For instance, with regard to aerobic exercise, you want to work on a percentage of your heart rate. And there's a formula called the Carbonin formula, which looks at your target heart rate, and we can determine based on your heart rate what percentage you should be working at. And with regard to weight training, we could look at the percentage of our 1 repetition maximum. So these things are not easy to figure out if you're not an exercise enthusiast or professional. So if you are a beginner and you're new to this, it really is recommended to contact an exercise professional so that you can work one-on-one and they can set the proper intensity for you. Because as I said earlier, if you're not sure about the intensity level, then you can be working too hard or not working hard enough. If you really can't get in touch with a fitness professional and you really want to do this on your own, determining your intensity can be as simple as seeing how you feel when you're working out. Do a simple talk test. If you can talk through the workout and really easily, like I'm doing right now, one word after the other, then, without a breath, then you're not working hard enough. But if you're trying to work out and you're talking and you can't catch your breath, you can't even get the words out, you might be working too hard. So play around with the intensity. If you're not sure, contact a fitness professional. So to summarize, very, very important when we're setting up a plan for exercise to determine what your fitness level is first. Use the FITT formula for success. So make sure you're incorporating frequency, how many days per week, intensity, how hard am I working, time, how many minutes per session am I spending, and type, what type of exercise am I doing? Am I incorporating both aerobic and resistance training as part of my plan? Always schedule the exercise. If you don't have a schedule, chances are you may not do it. Like anything else, if we schedule it, we kind of feel more obligated to stick to the schedule. Make it fun. Keep it light and fun and do things that you enjoy. Mix it up. Challenge yourself and work with a buddy. Sometimes working with somebody else, you challenge each other, you push each other to higher levels, and you have someone you can be accountable to. Because if you didn't exercise, they may hold you accountable and say, hey, you didn't do what you're supposed to do this week. Either way, keep it fun, keep moving, and always challenge yourself to be better tomorrow than you are today.